Alright, in the last video you saw me playing the Blue Danube Waltz, which was the roll that came with this piano. And you saw there was a few moments where I was a little winded there, and at one point the air motor even stalled out. And I suspect that was from the lack of vacuum. Also, it's interesting to note that the Blue Danube Waltz roll is quite a bit larger than a lot of these newer rolls that I have here. As you can see, quite a bit of difference in size. And it seemed like this roll played a lot longer too. So in the current status that the piano is in, which is pretty much its original unrestored state, let's see how well it does with a newer roll here. And we have Brian Williams playing the John Denver hit Take Me Home Country Roads, and on a QRS roll. And let's give a good idea of what an unrestored piano in this kind of shape, which I think this piano is really in pretty good condition. The only pneumatics in this piano that had any tears or holes in them were the bellows down below. The main reservoir bellow had some corners that were in bad shape, and the governor bellow had a few little pinholes in the corners that I patched up, but the air motor is in pretty good shape, and the tracking system is in good condition. The striker pneumatics all seem to be halfway decent. So let's just see what this will do. As I mentioned, I think in previous videos, this piano is going to be electrified with an air pump to because it's going to be used for demonstrations and here at the headquarters building for different events. And it's going to be a very attractive upgrade, even if the piano was fully restored, to have it electrified so that the person doesn't have to sit here and constantly pump it. So let's see how it does with this roll. This is Take Me Home Country Roads, and as you can see, I just put the roll on and I need to shift it back over to the play position. And even though the way I have this currently adjusted, it really doesn't vary the speed very much. We'll go ahead and move that over to there. And let's see how it plays. It's pumping up pretty firm right now. I mean, there's quite a bit of resistance on these pedals. too bad. The more notes it played, the easier the pumping got and the faster I had to pump to keep up. But for the most part, there was some pretty reasonable resistance to the pedals there. But as you can tell by probably the way I'm talking and breathing, it did take a little bit of effort to pump it, but it played it all the way through. And then rewinding it, though, it's not too bad. I can rewind it a lot faster if I want. I can rewind it kind of slowly. And I don't know, you know, I'm not very familiar with player pianos other than what I've read, but I would say this would be typical for an unrestored piano that's still on the airtight side, that it take this much effort to pump. And if you remember the video I put up playing the cable player piano that my friend Barbara's friends own, it was almost as bad as this was the pump, and it looked like it was in much nicer condition than this piano was. So that should give you some kind of indication of what to expect. And I don't know the history at all on that particular piano. From what I understand, the people that owned it were very musical, and it, you know, had a very large collection of rolls with it, whereas this piano only had the one roll when I got it. And I've picked up these others, and I've got more on the way. And I know this piano's been around a bit. It's been in Raton, New Mexico, and Texas, and then finally Stillwater, and then now Pawnee. And I don't know if it was purchased new at Raton or not. But you can kind of get an idea of what one of these is going to be like if you get into one that's, obviously this is a very nice untouched example, you know, 1963, and I'm the first person to do any kind of messing with it. It escaped that whole period in the 50s and 60s with the first round of restorations that were done on player pianos, and it even escaped the restorations that were done in the 70s and 80s too. So it's going to get a slight reprieve in life, living on with its original factory equipment for another year or two, and then it's going to get fully restored. Just sort of as an experiment to see just how much life you can get out of the original bellows cloth. All the cloth on this is really, you know, still pretty flexible too. It's not all brittle or anything. And anyway, I believe I'm rambling at this point, so good point to end the video. Thank you for watching. This is Oklahoma Bridges. I'll see you next time.